Today, how do you create an unconscious feeling in your listeners when you tell a story? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. Today, we're talking about how to hypnotically create suggestions. Now, before I get into that, let me just tell you a little bit about this. For those of you that know the story of the Trojan Horse, there was a couple of warring tribes once upon a time, and there were, this army wanted to get into their territory, and what they did was they created this massive Trojan horse that looked like a gift, and then there was a whole army hiding inside. Now, when I talk to you about hypnotic stories, I want you to realize, just like a Trojan horse, within the story, you have a deep and powerful force that can either be used for good or bad, but there's a deep force, deep within a story. You can have a powerful force that can create massive change within people, create feelings within people. And so I wanted to give you an idea and just tell you about this, the Trojan horse metaphor, so that you understand where we're kind of going with this. Now, before we get into today, I want to welcome you to another episode of Hypnotic Storytelling. And today, we're talking about using something called embedded commands, or you want to call them hypnotic suggestions, etc. But how do you use that within a story? How do you tell a story where you hypnotically suggest something to people? Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because when we tell people to do things, people can resist. However, when we tell a story, people feel inspired to feel it all on their own. Now, just to give you an idea of how I discovered the power of hypnotic suggestions within a story. Now, back in the day, when I first started learning about this thing called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically how we use our minds, it was probably about maybe 7 years ago. I was reading a book about it, etc. And in that, they were talking about this concept, and they gave a few suggestions about how to even use it in a job. And I was so fascinated by it, about how someone could communicate something within a communication. And this is one of the exact examples they gave. And basically, if you're in a job interview, you go up to someone and you ask some questions. And these are the questions that they had in the book. And I thought, whoa, this is crazy. And what they would say is, if you're in an interview and you're talking to someone and they're interviewing you, but you might want to ask a couple of questions. Like, just wanted to ask, when you think of your ideal candidate, and all the ways that would let you know that you have found this person, what are some of the qualities that would make you say to yourself, this is the guy for the job? Now, let me just break this down for you, okay? When you're just saying some normal things. However, within what you're saying, you're telling the person, think of the ideal candidate, and you're pointing to yourself while you say that. So when you think of the ideal candidate and you point to yourself, unconsciously you're saying, I'm the ideal candidate. You're planting a little seed at an unconscious level. Consciously, they won't be aware of it. Here's another one that I pointed out. And all the ways that would let you know you have found this person. Okay? So you're planting the idea that you have found this person, your ideal candidate. And then there was another one, which was, what are some of the qualities that would make you say to yourself, this is the guy for the job? And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. You have communication within communication. It blew my mind how crazy it was, how you could say something to people or suggest things to people without having to actually suggest them to people. And it blew my mind, and I was like, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. So embedded commands are basically something, letting someone know something, and a suggestion that is within a story, within a talk that you're saying. So here's what it is, and here's what it isn't, right? You can't make anybody do anything, right? Like in the example of the job interview, if these people think you're a terrible candidate because you have no experience, it's not going to get you the job, right? However many embedded suggestions you use. However, if you are up there with a couple of other people, this kind of gives you that little edge. It gives a little nudge in the right direction. It helps you to go in the right direction, and that is important. This is a nudge to plant an idea. It's not the be all and end all. So it doesn't mean that they're going to like it. When I talk about hypnotic suggestions, if, like I said, if you are a terrible candidate for the job, you're not going to get the job, right? You need to get the foundations right first. But it does plant the idea. It might, so in my example, where someone might go, I wonder, is this the guy for the job? Like already they're asking themselves the question. But if you're not, like if you have no experience, then it's not going to help. So keep that in mind. All it does is increase your chances. So Marika, what's up? Marika, I'm so proud that you are doing your daily lives as well. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you and your constant support. And I can't wait to see what you do with your daily stories and going live, and wishing you all the best. So cool. All right, so let's get into this. 7 steps to making hypnotic suggestions in your stories. Let's talk about these. Let's get into number 1. Number one is you want to pick a simple theme, right? If you want somebody to do something, or you want someone to feel something, etc., pick a simple theme. When you're working with someone, a great theme that is to do, if you're doing hypnotherapy, for example, the most common one is to relax. Because when people are relaxed, they're more easygoing. They're not uptight. When you're uptight, you're not going to get much work done. So you want people to relax, right? There's a hypnotic storybook that I got for my kids, and the simple one is go to sleep, right? It's a simple theme. It's not go downstairs, get into your car, drive to the supermarket, check all the different things. No. It's a simple theme. So if you want to do embedded suggestion throughout the story, just pick a simple theme that you can work around throughout your story. Number two. Once you have a theme, make a list of simple commands, okay? So let's say relaxation or going to bed, right? Now, if I wanted to tell my children a story before they go to bed, and I want them to fall sleepy, or etc., I might write out a list of simple commands, simple things to say, like feel tired, relax deeply, start to yawn, go to bed, fall asleep. These are like 3 words or so that are unconscious suggestions that you want someone to follow. Okay, you've got to make it super simple. The unconscious mind is like a 5-year-old, right? You've got to make it super simple to understand and embed throughout your story. So that's number 2. Number three. Start telling your story and then sprinkle some variations throughout your story. So those different variations that I gave you, you want to start to sprinkle them throughout your story as you tell the story. And then number 4 is, where's number 4? Here we go. Number 4. When you give a suggestion, give it a slightly different tonality. Okay, here's what I mean, right? So let me go back to this. And I'll tell you this story just like I would tell my kids. Actually, let me pull this up so that you can see it. All right. Sean the sheep was playing throughout the day, and then as it started to approach his bedtime, he started to feel tired. So you notice my voice when I say feel tired. And so he went upstairs and he went to lie down and he began to relax deeply. And then he was like listening to a story, and he began to sense that he was going to start to yawn. And etc etc. So you see what I'm doing with my tonality throughout the every time I give a suggestion, I change my tonality slightly, even though I'm telling a story. I'm making it up as I go along, but you can see how the story works. So have a slightly different tonality. Okay, hold on. Marika says, thank you for inspiring me. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. You saying that means a world, but it's all you, and you deserve every bit of success. I can't wait to see what you do with this. Yeah. And Mark is saying, I love your tonality, it's making me sleep. Yes. Yeah, that's how it works, right? The tonality is so powerful, and wait till you see the other things. So having a slightly different tonality was number 4. And if you check this out, let me just go here. Okay, so let me go to number 5. Number 5. Mark it out. Mark it out just means give a little bit of space before you say something and a little bit of space afterwards. So, for example, let me go back to my example where Sean the sheep was playing all day, and then he began to notice this little pause, and he began to feel tired. Now, you see there's a pause. I mean, I'm exaggerating the pause and exaggerating the tonality just so that you can notice it, okay? So pausing marks it out. It allows your brain to sort of, hey, something's happening here. Something's a little bit different here. So that's number 5. Then we get to number 6. Congruency. Now, what do I mean by congruency? So if you're talking about feeling happy, right? So, and you can begin to like this. If you said something like that, and Sean the sheep began to feel really happy. That doesn't match, right? No one's going to feel it. So if you go, Sean the sheep began to feel really happy. You say it with happiness. Whatever you're trying to portray, let your tonality communicate that. So whether you're talking about happiness or if you're talking about relaxation, okay? And Sean the sheep had played all day, and then he began to feel really tired. No. Feel really tired. Ugh. That subcommunicates the feeling that you want to convey. So you're saying it, you're feeling it, you're communicating it. Okay. And we have these things called mirror neurons. When you see someone happy, you tend to want to mirror it a little bit. So if someone says something in a relaxing way, you'll begin to feel more relaxed. But if someone says something really agitated, you'll get a little bit agitated, right? That's why if a speaker comes on and the speaker is nervous, the audience can get a little nervous for the speaker too. So that is number 6, congruent. Number 6. Oh, that was and here's number 7. Okay, and number 7 is using all of this. What happens? Right? Your mind is a pattern-making machine. You don't need to consciously say, hey, mind, find out the pattern. And I'll prove it to you. I'm going to give you a few numbers, and your mind will automatically find the pattern. You don't even need to say to your mind, hey, mind, find the pattern. What's going on here? Your mind will just find the pattern for you. So for example, 100, 200, 300, 400, what's the next number? You know what the next number is. If I go 100, 99, 98, 97, you know what the next number is. But you see, in order for your mind to know what the next number is, you have to have enough of a pattern, right? If I just gave you the number 100 at the beginning, there's no pattern there. Your mind needs to connect the dots. So you have to have enough dots in order to connect, which means you have to have enough suggestions. But if I go 11, 22, 33, 44, what's the next number? You are a pattern making machine. So understand that when you use embedded commands or hypnotic suggestions, your mind will automatically find these patterns. Now, the next thing, I just wanted to go back on one of these real quick and just talk about the tonality. Let me go back. So tonality, I forgot to mention, why do they call it embedded command, okay, instead of just hypnotic suggestion? Because when we ask somebody something, we'll put a question mark, okay? So, for example, if I say to you, can you ask a question? I go up at the end of my sentence. Okay, so I'm going up. But if you tell somebody to do something, if you have kids and you want them to go and clean their room, especially if you're angry, you'll go clean your room, right? It's not clean your room, it's clean your room. It's a command. So when we do these kind of suggestions, you don't want to be asking a question, you want to be telling someone to do something. Now, you don't need to be angry about it, but you can relax. See, I'm going down at the end of my sentence. It's not a question. You can relax. Okay, I'm not asking. So, and the mind automatically picks up these things. When people ask you a question, you don't, in your mind, you don't sort of go, I wonder, was that a question or was that somebody telling me something? No, your mind automatically does it because you're used to doing it in the whole of your life, right? This is how you communicate every single day. So when you do these suggestions and you give it as a sort of command tonality, as in you're saying, not asking, your mind picks it up. So those are the 7 steps to creating hypnotic suggestions or embedded commands. And yeah, so the phrase that pays: seed requests in a story, and the idea will be their territory. Okay, now, like I said, this is a very powerful technique. It's not magic. It's not, you can't get someone to do something that they don't want to do. It increases your chances. You still need the right foundation, right? If you just if someone is not tired at all and they don't want to sleep, just by saying, and you can feel tired, is not going to make them want to sleep. It might start the process, it might help the journey, it might, etc., if they're listening to you. However, everything that we do is about increasing your chances, making you more persuasive, making you more effective. And telling hypnotic stories, this is a foundational concept. So I suggest practice these, try a few out. Write down simple commands like feel hungry or buy now or whatever it is, and start to just see how can you put them within a story, something that you want to do, or just try something like feel good. That's a simple one to do, and it's a nice one to do with people. So you could tell a story about a sheep, and this sheep wanted to feel really good, and start to practice one of those techniques. Okay, so with that, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and if you have not, definitely do check out my channel, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out, one love, and I will catch you on another episode real soon. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the subscribe button here in the middle, or check out my either one of these videos that I've done in the past. Lots of love, peace out. I will see you guys on another episode real soon. Bye for now.